What's up everyone? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Paris and I make videos all about candle making and the starting and managing of my small candle business, Lady Simone Candle Co. And in today's video, I am going to show you how to make scented wax melts. So first let's start off with what you'll need. Making wax tarts is very similar to making candles, except for you're trading jars and lids for clamshell molds, and I'm going to show you that here in just a second. But to start off, you need a clamshell mold. I use the 6 cavity clamshell molds to make my wax melts or tarts, if you've heard them called that. You need a kitchen scale. This is going to be for measuring our tart wax and our fragrance oils. You need Dixie cups or some type of small Tupperware. I kind of interchange them both, but this is for measuring out your fragrance oil. You need a thermometer, a stirring utensil. I use just a straight-sided spatula. This is really beat up. I've had this for a while and I don't plan on using it, so I just thought I'll take it for my candle business. But something to stir with. You need your fragrance oil. Today I am making my sea salt and orchid. I got this from the Flaming Candle. So we got that. Alcohol to sanitize. You need your pouring pitcher. I am still working on my double boiler method. As you can probably see here, I got my water already here over here boiling. So you need a pot of water boiling, probably about 1 inch to 1.5 inches of boiling water, and that will create your double boiler method to melt your tart wax. You need paper towels. You need clamshell tart wax labels. Kind of look like this, and I have a roll here because I'm almost out. You need your actual labels. So I am making my beautiful wax melt fragrance. I am, number one, restocking on the ones that I sell, and then I am also making some extras for samples. And then of course our main contender is our tart wax. I use the golden wax from Candle Science. And then you need some gloves. I like to use gloves just to help get the wax out of the package. So let's get started. First things first, get your math in order. I like to go ahead and do my calculations. Now at this point in my business, I have all of my calculations kind of written out based on how many batches I like to make. So for the sake of this video, we're going to make 1 batch of wax tarts, which I like to make them in batches of 6. 6 wax tarts takes about 1 pound of tart wax, or if you like to work in ounces, it takes about 16 ounces, or if you're like myself, I like to work in grams, and it takes about 453 grams of tart wax to make about 6 wax molds. So let's get our wax together because our water is over here boiling. Go ahead and bring this over here, and we are going to dig out some wax. So you want to go ahead and tier your scale to 0. So I got mine tiered to 0. I scooped out some tart wax, and we're going to go ahead and see where we're at. Once you have your wax all measured out, you want to take it over to your double boiler and get that melting. You just sit it in there like that, and it will begin to melt your wax. In the meantime, we can go ahead and start measuring out our fragrance oil. So to 1 pound of wax, or to 16 ounces of wax, or in my case, if you use grams, about 453 grams of wax, you need about 1 ounce of fragrance oil. So I find that that's a good combination. It's a good fragrance load for my wax tarts. So 1 ounce of fragrance oil for me is 28 grams. So we're going to measure out 28 grams. So we have our 28 grams of fragrance oil. Once you have your fragrance oil already measured out, you can go ahead and put your scale away. You no longer need that. And you can go ahead and put your fragrance oil up because we no longer need that. So I have my fragrance oil off to the side here. And at this point, we're just waiting on our wax to melt. So I'm gonna go ahead and take my thermometer over there. Stick that in there, and we wait. You want to go ahead and heat up your tart wax to 185 degrees, or according to the instructions pertaining to the particular tart or wax melt wax that you're using. I am using the soy golden wax melt and tart soy wax. So according to the instructions, I am to heat mine up to 185 degrees. But be sure you are also following your instructions as well. I know every wax can be a little different. So I just checked my thermometer. Mine is at 185 degrees, so I'm gonna go ahead and pull mine off, and then we'll go to the next step. So I have pulled my tart wax off of the eye, out of the boiling water pot. I go ahead and take my thermometer out, kind of give it a quick wipe down, and now we are going to add our fragrance oil. Now, once you've added your fragrance oil, you want to go ahead and take your stirring utensil. Again, I just have a straight-sided spatula, but use whatever you have on hand. Just make sure you're not replanning to use it. You don't want to reuse what you're using to your wax for any food. So I like to stir, give mine a good stir for about 20 to 30 times. And then sometimes I switch directions just to make sure I get a good stir and the fragrance oil binds properly to the wax. Okay, we are good with that. Go ahead and take that out. Give it a good wipe down. And we are going to let this cool to about 160 degrees, and then we'll pour. That is according to my wax instructions. Make sure you read your instructions to see when you are supposed to pour. But I am pouring at 160. So I will meet you back when it's at 160. So I have set my wax to the side to cool to 160 degrees. And in the meantime, I am just going to sanitize and kind of tidy up a little bit with stuff that I'm not using. Stick my thermometer in, let that go. So this is why you need alcohol. I like to kind of wipe down everything after I get through using it. So I just kind of give my spatula a good wipe down because I no longer need it. We've already stirred. Now it's just resting and cooling. So I'll clean that off and put that back. Put my fragrance away, put my gloves and stuff away, things like that, just pack things up. Okay. So at this point, while the wax is cooling, because we will have a little minute to wait, I like to go ahead and get my clamshells set up. So as you can see, I have them laid out here on these cooling racks, which are completely optional. However, I picked these up at Walmart. I think they were about $3 a piece. And this is where I lay them out to cool, and it's easy for transporting when I need to go to my storage area. So I went on and popped my labels on, which you can also do at this time. And here is a closer view of how I pop my labels on. So I basically take the clamshell. So this is how it looks when it's closed. So I just open it and go ahead and pop the label on the top. This also keeps me organized when I'm working with multiple fragrances at a time to know which fragrance needs to go where. And plus it just saves the hassle at the end all I gotta do is pop on my warning labels and put it in the storage. So it just saves time. I like to kill as many steps as I can while I'm making batches of candles or wax melts. Whatever I can get out the way earlier the better. It just, you know, helps with time. Then I go ahead and pop these little pieces off and I get that out my way as well and toss those. Now that our tart wax have cooled, we are going to go ahead and pour. So I have my little paper towel here, so as I'm pouring I can kind of wipe the lip. So you want to gently pour. I like to eyeball it as best I can and immediately stop pouring as soon as it looks like it's about to even out and have an even layer right at the fill line, which you can kind of see is an outline. I like to go ahead and pour. Oops. And there we go. And we just keep going. Now that you have your wax melts poured, you want to go ahead and get your alcohol, and I like to go ahead and get a nice little chunk of paper towels. I pour some alcohol, nice little helping, and I just do a really good wipe down. It helps to sanitize for the next time you use your pouring pitcher, and it kind of helps eliminate the fragrance that you just used, so that you're not experiencing too much cross-contamination for the next time you make your wax melts. There you go. And that is it, guys. That is how you can make your scented wax melts or tarts, whichever way. I hope you all have enjoyed this video. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them in the comment section below. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. And until next time, bye.